April, of course, is Earth Month, and I know that means a lot of us are thinking about ways to conserve energy and help out Mother Earth a little bit. And last week on Seven on Your Side, so sorry, I just stole that right from you.
No,
Shirley.
keep going. I like hearing you talk.
Seven on Your Side brought us a story about going solar. I'm excited about this story. And how a Brooklyn family's investment to go green wound up with her and them seeing red when their solar system never worked to save them money.
Oh, Danny, keep going.
In fact, consumer complaints about some solar companies are spiking. So, Nina, please save us all. You have to navigate going solar and avoid getting scammed.
Okay.
She's saving us energy.
Yeah,
You know what? I love when you guys fight over me. Go ahead, fight over me.
Nina is my
That's
friend.
fine.
I'm going to introduce her.
So, Danny, you're a scientist, and you know this is a big, harnessing the power of the sun.
Yes.
A big investment initially, but it's going to pay off down the road because it's going to save you hundreds off your utility bill. It's good for the earth. It's good for your wallet. The sun is renewable, sustainable. That being said, recently we had to, fight to make it right for customers from Long Island to Brooklyn, and we were talking about six-figure settlements. First, in Melville, a newlywed couple had panels installed on the roof. Then the roof started leaking and leaking. Numerous repairs, denied, that's their kitchen table leaking. They were denied all these damage estimates, and they weren't getting help from fixing it. The roof had to cave in over the kitchen. Turns out the holes that were drilled in the roof to hold the panels in place were never sealed correctly. Take a look. So all those places where you see that, this is from Chop 7, it was leaking. The company started off offering them like $14,000 to fix this. By the time we got done, 2 years later, we were fighting. The settlement was over $300,000.
Wow.
So, to fix water damage, they were leaking from floor to ceiling into the basement. Then into the story we brought you last week. This was when we told you about Kathleen Gordon and her family. I love this family. Immigrants from Trinidad saved for decades to afford their home with her sister, realizing what they call the American dream of homeownership. Worked hard. Door-to-door salesman, knock, knock, knock. Hey, let's put in a new roof. Let's put in solar. You'll save on your bill. The panels cost $83,000. Went in at the end of the summer. Never got properly connected. So all winter, instead of saving, they were just spending and spending on the Con Ed bill. Plus, had to take out a loan to afford the initial investment. So since August, she was trying to get the company to get the system up and running. Problems with the panel. Problems getting up to code. They called us within a week. She got hooked up. She also got a big refund for what she had to pay in power bills. So these are, just some of the issues you can encounter. Definitely don't want to discourage anyone from going solar because we all know it's the benefits. But, you need to make sure the company's reputable. You have to make sure they know what they're doing, especially when it comes to somebody, messing with your roof, because that's a big deal.
Yeah. So after you showed us the story of that Brooklyn family, I heard you got an earful, right? Complaints seem to be spiking.
That aired Wednesday. We've been getting a lot of complaints. This happened to my mom. This happened to my friend's mom. Somebody came. They didn't do something. So we checked in with the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection in the city. It's like, what are you seeing? And yes, they said this is a growing issue on their radar. Here's the commissioner.
We have been seeing this as a new issue, but we have been getting complaints as well, and we do have some pending investigations. And it's important for consumers, for all New Yorkers, to know that in New York City, in order to make any repair that's about $200 in your home, an individual will need a home improvement contractor license. They can go to our website, nyc.gov/consumers. There is a license lookup toolkit. People can check there by the name of the company and make sure that they have a license. That's really going to protect them in many ways. Or if the individual contractor didn't get any required permits, you may be held out to be the one to pay for fines. They are also keeping themselves out of being able to take advantage of a trust fund. And that is a trust fund that is established by law that our office manages for any individual that hasn't received the services as required and as they're supposed to be provided to the individual, to get restitution from that fund up to $10,000. But it's only if they have hired a licensed home improvement contractor.
Wow, I had no idea about this. It's interesting because my mother had a company, door-to-door salesman, solar, do the same thing, knock on her door, and I told her, hold off on it before you check, because I didn't feel comfortable with it.
That is good advice.
And I wish I would have known about this.
Yeah, I didn't know about that fund. So contractors, when they get a license, they pay into a fund. Then if something goes sideways, you get money from that fund up to 10 grand because it's kind of like protection.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important. Every state, every county has a way to look up a valid business online. In New York, it's nyc.gov. In New Jersey, there's Division of Consumer Affairs. Nassau and Suffolk County each has a licensing bureau. Some will even show you complaint violations. So this is a really important tool. You can check by business owner name, first and last name, or the name of the business. And they can't get a license usually without providing proof of insurance, so that'll help you there. Definitely you want to, here's your tips, research reviews. You want to compare quotes, get at least 3 estimates, and read the fine print. These contracts are very tricky. This is a new, like, burgeoning area, tricky contracts, lots of small print on what you're going to have to pay for. And speaking of paying, don't pay in full upfront. Never send somebody that big chunk of check right away, because if something goes wrong, you're going to be out all that money. It's best to pay in thirds, some in the beginning, some in the middle, and then in the end when you're fully satisfied.
Oh, so happy you followed up.
Yeah.
Happy you got the commissioner.
Yeah,
Speak on this.
she was good. And, you know, I like to check in with them to say, you know, are you seeing this? And they are seeing it, and they didn't want to get out a warning.
Especially with the amount of calls we got following the story.
For sure.
Awesome. Good stuff, as always,
You're
Nina.
welcome.
Coming up on Mornings at 10, the checkout page. On some Chinese e-commerce sites, you're probably noticing this, much higher than usual. That is because of the effects of the president's trade wars, the tariffs. 2 big companies just raised their prices. How your wallet could be impacted.
And a stop to fighting in Ukraine. Just hours ago, Russian President Vladimir Putin declared a temporary ceasefire in Ukraine. Those details are next.
It was wet on Saturday, windy and cool yesterday, but today we are back to beautiful blue sunny skies and highs in the 70s. Gorgeous conditions to start the work week. I'll let you know how long it lasts in AccuWeather.
I think